Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Louise from Flower Wool. Okay, I'm still having some tech problems here. We'll wait for a few people to come back in here. I'm going to see if I can um, pull this up on my phone so I can. All right, I got it. Okay, so at least I can see if this is working or not. Okay, anyways, hey everybody, it's Monday, which means it's New Start Monday, and we're gonna just work with this, even though long as you guys can see me all right. I've kind of got this up on my phone, so I think we can work with this. I'm back. Yes, I'm still having some tech problems. We'll just go with this one. So, hi, everybody. It's Monday. It is cast on day here at Wildflower Will. You guys, this was a really, really interesting vote this week. It was super, super close. This just might have been the closest vote maybe ever. Maybe ever. Like I need to start keeping track of all these voting and to see what is the actual closest. Okay, let me grab the yarn. Now this is actually brand new yarn. I maybe shouldn't say that, but this stuff did not come from my stash. I went and did a little shopping. So, um new yarn. New yarn. So, oh, Jocelyn, you made it back. Okay. Okay, Ashton says we can see you. I know that's crazy. And I'm reading the comments on my phone, so we'll just go with it here. Um, two new yarns. I think I was feeling a little a little left out. Maybe there was a yarn festival this weekend that I was unable to go to, which really wasn't a bad thing because I was doing something else that was really a whole lot of fun. Um, so it wasn't like I was just staying home, but I did feel like I wanted to buy a little bit of yarn when I knew some of my friends were going to be yarn shopping too. So I did go make a little stop at Knit Stitch, one of my local yarn shops, and picked up three balls of this really pretty purple yarn. So this is Drops Andes. It is, oh, I'd forgotten about this, you guys. This is a warm blend of superfine alpaca and Peruvian Highland wool. Maybe if I'd given you all the details, it might have changed how you guys were voting. You guys were mostly were just voting on color. Um, so what does this say? That suggests a 9 millimeter hook. It's 100 grams, 90 meters, 65% wool, 35% alpaca. Ooh, that's nice. It does feel really, really nice. Um, this here is just, a good old standby yarn. Woolies, thick and quick. And this came from Michaels. It is the colorway Coney Island. I have seen this, but I don't think I have ever purchased this before. Um, anyways, I really, really like the colors in here. Just, my total colors. There's a little bit of orange, a little bit of like a lime green, some white, some black. Maybe what is there? Yeah, different shades of orange. I don't know. Maybe almost like an orangey pink. It's really, really pretty. So I don't know how this one knit up. So there was some people who were saying that they thought this would be really exciting to see how it knit up. Um, one person said they wanted to see how it would pull. Other people said, the purple was just really, really, really nice. They wanted to see this knit up. And anyways, the voting was so, so close. The closest I think we've ever had. We had a total of 136 votes, and the winning yarn won by 2 votes. Had 51% of the votes. So, I don't know. There was an interesting comment brought up by two different people who voted, something that I had never really thought of. Two people had said that garter stitch would show up better in the purple. And I thought that is really interesting because garter stitch is one of those stitches that I don't really ever think really about the stitch showing up. It's just knit stitches, and sometimes I think it's good for variegated yarn. I don't know if this is really I suppose it's variegated, colorful yarns, because you don't have a stitch pattern. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe I just think of as garter stitch really as not being a stitch pattern, even though it does knit up beautifully with the ridges and with a nice plain yarn, you do get nice stitch definition. But I thought that was really fun to think like, oh, I don't think I really ever think about that, the stitch definition in garter stitch. And I think something like this is a good garter stitch project because you don't really need to see the stitches unless you want to. I don't know. That just really gave me something to think about. So that was really, really fun. So if you were one of the two people who had voiced that in the voting, I really appreciate that because now I'm like, that is a really fun thing to think about. So, anyways, these are the two. So, literally two votes. I looked at Instagram stories today, 50-50. It was even for a long time. Hi, Lynn. And and so it wasn't until yet tonight, I about 20 minutes before we jumped on here, I did go in and count up everything, and I was like, "Whoa, this is really, really close." So, anyways, the idea, my project this week is just a simple garter stitch scarf. My plan has been at the start of the month have a large, harder, more complicated project, then every week throughout the month, do something that's a little smaller, a little a little easier to get done. And I don't know, somewhere I think a couple of weeks I kind of fell away from that and cast on another sweater or something. But anyways, I thought, okay, it's the end of the month. I need to do something that is simple, quick, with the potential of being done soonish. A three-ball garter stitch scarf maybe isn't going to get done this week, but it could be done fairly quickly. So, and I thought this might be a nice sample for some online learn to knit classes. Gave a first or second project for a beginner knitter, just a good example of what garter stitch is and something that's wearable, something that you can make and you can knit it, you can enjoy it, and you can wear it. So I this is what I bought both these yarns for, thinking a nice sample in some variegated yarn, something in a plain, and then I was going to let you guys decide which one I was going to knit up. So I see Liz has given me the drum roll here. So the yarn that won by 1%, 51, or 2%, I guess, 51 to 49, um, won by two votes is it variegated? Is it purple? Okay, this is where you add in your own suspenseful moment here. The one I'm casting on is the purple. I really was not sure how you guys were going to vote. I never know. Sometimes I think, oh, is it too, I don't know, is it too easy of a vote or is it not exciting enough? But I thought, purple, there's some people love purple and some people voted and they're like, purple always, always purple. Can never go wrong with purple. Other people wanted to see these colors knit up. Um, yeah, one person did say, yes, probably going back to the whole garter stitch, is that this would be too colorful and the garter stitch pattern would get missed in there. So I love it when you guys kind of put some thought behind it. Sometimes it's just I love the yarn, right? If you're a purple, you go for purple. If you like kind of more fallish colors, this would be your one. But anyways, so this is it. So drops Andes, like wool and alpaca. This is going to be glorious to knit. It calls for a 9 millimeter needle, and that's what I have. Do I have them here? I actually grabbed a pair. Yes, I do. Straight needles. These ones came from Michaels. I should have looked at Knit Stitch, but I'm not sure. I don't think she has any straight needles. And I wanted straight needles for this project. So this is what I grabbed, and I did grab a 9 millimeter. We'll see how it knits up. Um, if I want to go 9, I guess you never know. But there, I've got 9 millimeters. These are only 9-inch needles, so I like. Whoops, that was close. Um, so that's nice. They're short, and sometimes I just. Oh, we are still live. Okay, something really strange is going on here. Okay, my whole screen just went blank, but okay, we're still here. I totally lost what I was saying to you. Um, Straight needles, garter stitch. I don't know. Anyways, it's going to be fun. Oh yes, that this is going to be my new project. That was kind of my go-to to pick up when I don't need to read a pattern or count rows or anything. Which then also made me think that I forgot to bring up a shawl that I was going to show you. That is a sign that I just have too many things on the go right now. This weekend coming up is a long weekend. It's Easter weekend for everybody who celebrates. And I'm hoping to have a, a nice little bit of knitting time that I can maybe work on this project. So this is fun. This will go on the shelf again and we'll vote on it another day. Let's see. What else can I show you? I've got a couple projects here. Let's start with the first one. So, remember this Karen cake ball? Can see the ball is starting to get squishy, which is always a good sign. And I made it into the next color, which was my goal. I'm on to the blue, which means that I've got this section of the light green knit. So this is where it started, was with this darker green, and then for this past week's knitting was I wanted to get the next color section done. So 2 greens are done. I'm into the blue. Just a simple garter, no, simple seed stitch. Simple seed stitch. And which is interesting because when we were talking about garter stitch, and yeah, for garter stitch, I don't really necessarily worry if you can see the stitches. But with seed stitch, I typically do like to be able to see the stitches nice and clear. I think that's funny how I think of one and not the other. Um, I have done seed stitch in a variegated yarn too, and I like how it looks. You don't see the stitch definition as well, but you do see a hint of texture that I'm happy enough with too. So, anyways, this is on to the blue. So, my goal for this project for this week is to get this next little section of blue done. And then we'll be back into a nice bright green, which will be really fun. So this is also kind of my another go-to project that is very simple, a good knit night project. And the fun thing about this project is I am doing it all continental. So knit one, pro one, knit one, pro one. I'm getting lots of practice with my continental stitches. I've always been able to knit continental okay, but I would like to be a little more efficient with it and a little faster. So this is going to help me. The other project I worked on quite a bit this week, and you may have seen it if you saw Jocelyn and I Friday night, I was working on the garter stitch asymmetrical shawl, and I was working on it Saturday on the Fiber Friends podcast. But I did not bring it up here tonight for some reason. So I'll have to show that to you next week. But I'm also doing that continental, and it is very, very fun. Um, how long am I aiming for the scarf? Is that let me know for sure, Katie. Anyway, so it's fun. So I'm really enjoying the continental. So I'm just kind of switching back and forth between projects, and yeah, lots and lots of fun. Hi, Sam. Hi, Diane. What else do I have? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm a little embarrassed to show you this, but we're gonna focus on the good part. We're gonna focus on the good part. You know that sock madness sock that I was doing? that, the one that I've said the last 2 weeks, it'll be finished next week, it'll be finished next week. Well, I'm thinking maybe I think did I say that 2 or 3 weeks in a row? Well, apparently I need 1 more week. Oh, yes, for the scarf. Katie, I'm just gonna do the whole ball. I'm just gonna do the whole ball. I'm just gonna the whole thing and see how long I can get it. I'm hoping it'll be nice and long that I can double wrap it or wrap it and tie it, and it'll still have nice long tails. Okay, so sock madness sock. Where was I last week? Partway down the foot or something? I think I only had like four more repeats, like 4 more yellow stripes to do, and then the toe. Well, okay, my whole ball's falling apart here. But here's a sock. And I did get all the color work done. My foot is finished. I got the extra rows done that I needed to get done. I think I needed, it's easier to see if you look on this side. I needed 17 yellow stripes. I have 17 yellow stripes, and I have started decreasing for the toes. And I started decreasing for the toes yesterday, and I thought, it's just the toe. I can get that done tonight. Well, didn't something pop up last night? And I did not get it done. And I thought, that's okay. I'll be able to get up a little bit early. I'll be able to knit for like an hour before work. How long will it take me to do the toe? Yeah, that didn't happen either. But should I even say next week for sure? I just have to do the toes. I'm almost done. Almost done. And I will have a pair of socks, which I'm super excited for. So, really, this is almost done. We could almost call this a finish. So, so close. So, I'm going to work on that and get it finished. And then I will have a sock needle back because a couple of weeks we're going to be casting on another pair of socks. So, I want to be able to have this pair done so I can carry on with another pair. Okay. What will I show you next? It's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 2 weeks ago, we voted for this ball, a Patton's Classic Wool. What was this name again? It's like Cameo Jacquard. Cameo Jacquard. Carol, looking forward to the toe. I know. I'm just like, how long can I draw out the suspense of a finished sock? Apparently, a lot of weeks. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. It should have been done. I really wanted it done. I tried hard, but apparently, I should have started one night sooner on this and I would have had it finished. But okay, so this pattern or this yarn, you guys voted for this yarn for a summer top. And I love this. Now, it is just started. It is the start of an itty bitty gauge swatch. I think I put on about 24 stitches. I'm pretty sure this is a 3.75 millimeter needle. I was kind of going looking for a 4 millimeter because I would have been fine if it was a little looser, a little drapier, but even just with these few rows, it feels really nice knitting it. Um, so this might just be fine. This might just do a 3.75 might be all right. So I'm just going to keep going on this. I am going to knit this in 2 panels. It's going to be a sleeveless summer top. So I'm going to knit it flat and then I'm going to seam it. Super, super simple. And then this way, I'm hoping to match up my stripes, have the front and the back be 2 matching or close. Um, oh, Cindy, you got disconnected. There is something weird going on with technology tonight. I'm glad you're back. Oh, Katie, you love those 2 colors together for the socks. You know what? I really like the brown and the yellow too, but they are kind of my colors. I suppose if you're like a pink and purple kind of person, brown and yellow might be a little boring, but I really, really like it. Oh, Sam. Okay, I haven't really been looking at comments here. So Sam's, hi Sam. My third hat is not going well. Well, that's okay. You got the whole year to figure out hat knitting, Sam. You're off to a really good start. I think you're just a little too hard on yourself. Sam, are you using your phone for the video? Yes, I am, Sam. Okay, so anyway, so this even just doing this little bit here has I'm just loving the colors. Just even just doing this little bit, I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, these colors." Like kind of a corally color, rusty color, salmony pink color. I just really, really like them. So I am excited. I'm just going to work on this gauge swatch and pretty much I just want to like this needle size. So I'm really just going to do a gauge swatch and just basically go for it and just figure out I'm going to have to do kind of gauge to garment thing, my measurements. I want a fair amount of positive ease for this one. I want this again to be something that's loose and comfy and basically kind of like pull it on over a tank top kind of thing for early spring, summer. And yeah, I just want it to be something super simple and quick. So as long as yeah, I think this will be fine. I might try if I can find a 4 millimeter needle. I might try it on one size bigger, and then figure out my stitch count and cast it on this weekend. Is what I can see myself knitting this at Easter. So we'll see. Because this should be again something really simple and quick, like basically two rectangles, sew the shoulders, sew the sides, leave openings for your arms. Like that's what I'm thinking. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. But I'm happy with that project so far. Little tiny start, but I'm happy with it. Um, let's see what else. I have got one other project up here right now, and that is the one that I forgot to show you last week. Um, our Socks April challenge. They are for the Fiber Friends. Yes, April has it's for quite a few years now has been socks. Maybe they have been socks. Actually, maybe this I think the socks is kind of how the whole monthly challenge got started was with the socks back about 4 years ago. So um yes, I'm excited for sock knitting. So that's why I need to get this pair done so I can start another one. And okay, we can talk about that a little bit about sock knitting. I have an idea of doing something. Might be a little crazy, but I'm going to do it because I think it would be super, super fun. Katie says, just cast on, go crazy. That's exactly. Just going to cast on and knit, and it's going to be what it is. All right, mosaic knitting. Remember this project from a couple of weeks ago? Thank you. We're all voting either Mosaic or Entrelac, and Mosaic won. Well, this is what I've got so far. I've got orange is going to be my next color. I've been, dear, just dropped. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab this one. Dropped the yellow. See. Okay, here we go. So this is being oh my gosh, I feel like this is all just so tangled up here. This is what you get. Terrible. This is what you get when happens when you just throw your projects in a bag. Um, this is it. Don't do what I do. Do better than this. Try to keep everything untangled. Anyways, this is some stash yarn. Classic wool. Patton's Classic Wool DK Superwash. So I've got lots of this. I have more of this than I actually even realized I had. So this is also going to turn into the pillow that everybody voted on for last week. But this is where I am. Look at this. I even stopped mid row. That's another Crazy thing. But anyways, there it is. So this is such a simple little pattern. I just randomly picked one chart and I'm just going to keep repeating it all the way for the whole length of the scarf. And this again is just going to be a long scarf. I don't know why I'm on a bit of a scarf knitting kick. I don't know. Anyways, it's just fun to do and simple. The mosaic is really, really easy. You read the chart on the right side row. On the wrong side row, you just read your stitches and you knit the knits and you slip the slip stitches. Just moving your working yarn when you're slipping the stitches. Just depends if you're on the right side or the wrong side, which side of the work your working yarn goes to, because you always want to have your working yarn on the back side of your work. So sometimes the back side will be the front side, sometimes it will be the front side, the back side, depending on which way you're working. So super, super easy and having a really fun time doing it. I just pick it up every once in a while and do a couple of rows and just kind of I started randomly picking colors. So the pink and the blue, so I cut the blue and then carried the pink up into the second row and added the yellow. Once I get this um, pattern repeat finished, I will cut the yellow. I will carry on with the yellow because you need to have, depends on how you start it, which color you switch out, because you have to slip stitches on here. So the yellow is going to stay, the pink will go for this time, and then I'm going to introduce orange. So the next repeat will be orange and yellow, which I think will be fun. So the idea with this is just it's just going to be the same pattern, just switching out the colors, and it's just going to be really bright and fun. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I haven't decided with all of these if these will end up being gifts, if they'll end up being um, donated somewhere, or if I will end up keeping a couple of them for myself and wearing them next winter. But anyways, this is super fun. I'm liking the mosaic knitting. And when we were talking about this, I think the week that you all were voting for this, and we were talking kind of about the whole idea of was all slip stitch patterns mosaic, and is mosaic always slip stitches? Which mosaic is, oh, how did we say that? Now I'm getting that, but I think you know what I mean, right? Everything is mosaic is always slip stitches, but yeah, are all slip stitch patterns mosaic. So this is the how I was saying, like when I think of mosaic knitting, this is what I think of knitting from a chart, and you have these kind of geometrical kind of shaped patterns. So that's what I always think when I think of mosaic. So that's fun. I'm just going to carry on with that too and see where I get. I would, and this may be a project that stays on the needles for a while. I mean, maybe every week I may aim just to do one repeat or maybe two color blocks because one's not very big. We'll see how that goes. All mosaic is slip stitch, not all slip stitching is mosaic. That's what I wanted to say. YouTube is trying to make you pay for premium. Uh-oh. Oh, are we talking about um oh, Sally's getting commercials tonight. Yes. So I think we had this top discussion last week about how some people were getting ads in there and some people were not, because I have it set so there shouldn't be any ads in there, but then somebody else was saying that YouTube just puts them in there even though we have them set up to not do it. So hopefully it's not too annoying. Okay, so let's see. So that is it. So the one project I didn't bring up was, yes, the shawl I did not bring up and the cable. Let's talk about the two cabled stitch pattern that I wanted to do. Two cable needle stitch pattern that I wanted to do. Last week we talked about doing, so this dark pink remember we had the dark pink and the light pink, and then we kind of decided that we should do the pillow both colors. Do dark pink on one side, light pink on the other side. So I think that is kind of a good plan. So I think that's what's going to happen. I don't really have too much to show you because I had just started to cast on and I didn't even cast on for the actual pillow yet. I was just going to play around with the cabling. But I had a really, really hard time finding a cable pattern that used two cable needles. So if you guys are watching this, if you know of a pattern, if you've come across something, um, leave the link below, either under the video here in the comments or in the Fiber Friends Facebook group. That's always a good spot, and tag me over there. Um, it was Diane. She posted a couple of patterns. So it was two different patterns, but I think pretty much the same stitch pattern, same cable pattern. One was for a cowl, one was for a really pretty shawl with this cabling along the edge. And so I asked her Saturday morning, I'm like, "How did you find that?" It's like, I was trying to go in through Ravelry and trying to search cable patterns, cable needles, and I wasn't having any luck. I tried, I think, searching on Pinterest and maybe on YouTube, and it always just came up with just regular, how to do a 2 by 2 cable, how to cable left, right, that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, how do I find patterns that use two cable needles? I flipped through a couple of stitch pattern books that I had, and all of the cable patterns in there were just single cable needle patterns. And so I thought I do have some other cabled books, so maybe I will have to. I have one that might be a good source because I think it is called. It's an Oregon book, I think. I think it is called the Cable Source Book or something like that. Anyways, it is a stitch pattern book that is all cables. So I may have to find that book and take a look through. But if you have any leads on patterns, I would love the link to them to go check them out because I was having a really hard time. So Diane, I was like, how did you find this? Like what did you search? And she said she had just done a Google search for 2 by 2 by 2. So I did that. I think I just put in 2 by 2 by 2 cable knitting on Google and it came with exactly what she had found. And that was all that came up was this shawl pattern. And so I clicked on the shawl pattern. I ended up buying the shawl pattern. And and then she had a blog post about the shawl and she said she had searched the internet and there was very little to be found on the stitch pattern. And I'm like, I can collaborate with that. I can agree with that. I can, I agree with that. I'm finding the exact same thing. Okay, Liz says Barbara Walker #2 has double cable pattern in it if you own it. I probably do, Liz. Okay, I will go look there. When do you use two cable needles? Katie says. So that's a really good question. So it's just if you want to, it's just making your cables. It's like six stitches, six stitches and you're dividing them. This one here that Diane had found that I was looking at just took your six stitches and you divided 2 by 2 by 2. The first two stitches went on a cable needle and they were held at the front of your work. Then you slipped two stitches onto a cable needle, held it at the back of your work. Then you knit the next two stitches. Then I think you purled the two that were on the front, and then you knit the two that were on the back. So you've got two, 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 and you're just playing, making like three braids. So you need two on a cable needle, and then you just knit the two. So you're just working with more stitches. But it's so funny because just when you want to find something like that, of course, you can never find it because I had come across a pattern not very long ago and I was scanning through it and I thought, "Ooh, this is so fun." uses 2 cable needles, but do you think I can remember where that was? Was it on Ravelry? Was it in a book? Was it in a magazine? I have no idea now where I saw that. But Liz, okay, Barbara Walker, yes, she's always a good resource. So I will have to go track that book down too and see. Because I if I don't have it, I have a friend who has all of her books. So I'll be able to look at that hopefully this weekend. Thank you. That's good. Um, oh, Sam, are you still having trouble trying to knit or get joined? Was that I tried casting my third hat and try to join the yarn in the round by twist, getting frustrated. Okay. Well, we can just leave it for a couple more days, Sam, and I'll see you on Thursday and we'll just practice it a couple times. Get you join it and then in a round or 2, and then you can try it again. And because it's just practice. So you've done it lots of times, so you probably have got all of the ones, I think there's always a certain amount of times you have to do something, you always mess it up like 3 or 4 times. So I think you're probably have got those almost out of your system, and then you'll be good from here on out. Oh, Susie says, "What type of cables do you do without a cable needle?" Those ones, it depends on how many stitches you have. And do they do something that's more like a twist than a cable? Because you can do that if you're maybe it's more like a 1 by 1 or a 2 by 1. I know if you get too many stitches in there, it's tricky to do without a cable needle. But you can just go if you need to knit into the second stitch on the needle, you can just leave the first one that's at the tip of the needle, leave it, knit into this one, and then you can go back and you can kind of twist them as you knit them right off your needle. Um, oh, Susanna, I hope you feel better. Yeah, don't oh, I hope you're feeling better before the long weekend comes. So yes, go lay down and get some rest. Anyway, yes, and every once in a while I've cabled without a cable needle, but I always have to go look up and see how to do it. I can with a cable needle to go if I want my cables to go left and right, I can do that without like just doing a 2 by 2. Um, I can do that without looking at the pattern, but without the cable needle, I always have to go back and read exactly how you have to do it. And I haven't done it enough times to just be able to do it off the top of my head. But it's kind of I don't know if some people like it, some people still like doing a cable needle. I guess a cable without a cable needle is a little faster, but most of us probably, unless you're in Sock Madness, most of us aren't really going for like super, super fast, right? Um, but it's interesting. Does anybody in the chat, do you cable without a cable needle? Is that your preference, or does it just probably depend on the project and which way you do it? I know it's something that I want to do again. Um, these socks here that I did for Sock Madness, I did do these ones. I think this is probably the last project that I cabled without a cable needle. And this one was because I wanted to do it a little faster because there's a lot of cables on this sock. And I did want to be able to get down to doing it quicker, um, which I did. But one of the things I think I talked about this the other night, probably when we were voting on last week. Was it last week? Must have been last week. About the cabling is that I find I can when I use a cable needle, it's like I can visually see in my head which way I'm crossing the needles. And when I cable without a needle, I can't see it as well. Or maybe it's just because I haven't done it enough. Um, but I do know that when I did these socks without a cable needle and I submitted them, I it came back that I had miscrossed a couple of cables and I had to go in and duplicate stitch them to fix them. So, and I don't know if that was just because I was cabling without a cable needle and didn't have that visual reminder, or I was just knitting crazy and like for hours and hours and hours a day, and I was like going cross-eyed anyway. So no matter how I did it, may not it may not have helped. So Um, yeah, Sam, if you're struggling, just knit your dishcloths. Wait till we are in person and I'll help you and you'll see get a little in-person help and you'll be right on track after that. Okay, so Katie says, yes, it depends on the project. I'm currently doing a twisted stitch without a needle. So your twisted stitch, Katie, is that just like a one by one and you're just crossing it? Um, Baby kitten, move stitches around on the left needle and then knit them. Oh, for Sam for joining? Yes, I know. Susanna, if you're still here, everybody's hoping you're feeling gonna feel better soon. It's always a bummer if you're before a holiday, you don't want to be sick. Um, yes, one by one. Yeah, I know. See, there's just so many fun things, so many techniques to try and play around with. Yeah, a lot of fun. Oh, Lynn says Perry. Oh, Very Pink Knits has a slow motion on a lot of her tutorials. Well, there you go, Sam. That might be one to check. She might just be able to explain it and just see it um, in a way that makes sense to you. And then maybe by Thursday you'll have it and you'll have your ribbing all done by the time I see you. Oh, move stitches around on left needle and then knit them. Oh, that's cabling without the cable needle. Okay, move stitches around on left needle and then okay, yes, and then knit them. Gotcha. Good. I know. That may be the next thing. I don't know. I'm gonna tackle this 2 cable, but I was, like, really searching for cable needles, and you guys, I was hoping I would have had a little bit more of my little swatch done to show you, so I'll have to show you that next week. But I just cast on with the dark pink, and I just put 16 stitches on here because I wanna have 6 as my center and 5 and 5 on either side, and I just wanna play with the cable, and, you guys would laugh at me. Apparently, I maybe need to go back to the yarn store, or maybe I need to just look around my room and see where all my cable needles are because I could find 1 cable needle. I probably have, I bet you easily 8 somewhere around. DPNs work. Well, you know what I had? My sock that I finished, I put on DPNs for the toe. So I have the 9-inch circular. I I pulled that out to use that, and I'm thinking, "Okay, this will work." I mean, I have used a paper clip in the past. I think I've used a bobby pin. I mean, pretty much anything will work. Just you just have to hold those stitches, right? So anything will work. Um, but sometimes it's nice to have an actual, like, is it the J? Like the up with the hook, like the hook one? Because sometimes that holds your stitches a little better. There's the ones that are straight with the bump, or I guess it goes either whichever way you've got it. So you've got a little dip to hold your stitches because sometimes I've used oh yeah, the flexi needles. They would too, because yes, because they're very much they're bent like they're like a boomerang. So you've got that bend so it would hold your stitches because um when I was doing the first Sock Madness socks that were all cabled, I used a plastic darning needle for my as my cable needle, and it worked. Um, the odd time it slipped out of the stitches, and then you've got live stitches, which sometimes you don't want that to happen. But yes, you're right. Oh, hey Diane, you purchased the spiral one from oh, the spiral. Oh, I remember seeing that like a long time ago. You're right. Like, it popped up on, like, an Instagram ad or a Facebook ad or something, and I remembered thinking, "Oh, this looked really interesting." Now, I do know that the one that I really do not want to use again was the one it was a straight wooden one and from Knit Picks, and it had grooves carved across the needle. So if this was the cable needle, they just had, like, cut grooves. like 3 or 4 in the center of the needle. So the idea, I guess, was that it would hold your stitches in those grooves, which it did, but almost too well because then it was very annoying to slip them off, or at least in my opinion. Somebody else may absolutely love it, but I found them just too annoying because then you couldn't slip your stitches off because they like literally your yarn sunk into these grooves, which was really a pain. So I got rid of that needle. And I don't get rid of very many things. I like, improvise and use everything, but that was one that I was just like, ugh. It was slow, it was a pain. Other people may love it, but I would not recommend them. Okay, so Diane, I would definitely want to hear your review when you get around to using the spiral one. Oh, Michael's for Prim cable needles. They're flexible. Really? So, Lynn, are you telling me I need to go back to Michael's? Because if I have to. Now, mind you, I was just there yesterday. I broke my streak. What did I say that I hadn't been at Michael's for like 3 weeks, but it felt like a year? So now I'm gonna make it I'm gonna be back there like 3 or 4 times this week to make up for the weeks that I missed. Um, okay, Prim cable needles. I don't think I've ever noticed them there. I know they have 11-inch needles. They do not have 9-inch Prim needles. They have 11-inch needles. Which I always find interesting why they don't have the 9-inch ones. But I will have to go look and see about the cable needles because now I'm very curious about that. I will always try. I'm always up for trying something that I haven't tried before. Louise, I'm not that organized, but every time you say, I don't know where something is, I want to come organize your knitting and yarn. Oh, Liz, I don't know. Maybe I should take you up on that. I know. I always think, right? I think this is a long weekend coming up, and I think, oh, I got time off work. I'm like, I always think it's going to be one of those weekends where I do nothing and everything all in the same weekend, and then I get 2 things done. So we'll see what those 2 things happen to be. Oh, let's see. Oh, Louise says there's a video tutorial by Double the Stitches called 222 with 2 cable needles on YouTube. Is there? Okay, see? Thank you. That is so I would definitely go look at it. Now, I mean, it sounds complicated because Diane had posted. Oh, I wonder if it's the same one. I can't remember if Diane posted one in the Fiber Friends group, and it was a tutorial, and I watched it, and it's a perfect tutorial. It's short, it's sweet, it's so simple. Like, you think, "Oh my gosh, 2 cable needles, like, what in the world? Are we, like, having to stand on our head and knit inside out and backwards or something?" And it's not. It's when you see it done, it's like, "Oh, that makes so much sense," right? So, I wonder if that's the same one. Double the stitches. Okay, I'm gonna go Louise, thank you so much for looking that up and letting me know that because yeah, I just wanna see all the things. Oh, Diane says there's a brand of needle called Brittany. Yes, I have some of those needles, lovely wooden ones, and they make a 3 pack of cable needles in varying sizes, and they have a dip in the middle, but not the grooves. Okay. I know, maybe I just need to do an Amazon order too. I don't know if any of my local yarn shops carry Brittany needles. All right. Um, no, you do not need to go back to Michael's. I don't know. So you mean I can just do an online order instead? Nikki, hi, Nikki. Nikki has the Prim flexible ones. I think they're called what? It's their yoga cable needle. Oh my gosh. Just the name. Like that just I need to have a yoga cable needle. The bendy part is grippy, so your yarn sticks to the cable needle. Okay, I think I need this. Uh-oh, Nikki says, I did not like it. Okay. Diane loves it. Nikki doesn't, which means then I need to be the third person. I need to try it and see. Oh, oh, no, no, no. Oh, wait, 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 wait. So who? Diane, you didn't like that. Diane liked the Britney one? Daisy, what are you doing? Go kitty. Um, who? Okay, so who liked the Britney one? Oh, Lynn. Okay, so Lynn, did you like the prim one? So, Diane, you didn't like the prim one? Oh, and Diane didn't like the prim one. Maybe it was just me. Okay. I think I need to try it. You never know till you try it, right? Because what one person doesn't like, the other person might. Like some people, obviously, Nitpicks makes these cable needles with the grooves in them, so somebody has to like them, right? Just because I don't, I could be in the minority. Um, okay. I desperately wish Michael's was still open and I could run down there. I'll have to look online, see if they carry them. Liz, you have the Brittany cable needle too, and you like that one. Okay, Diane says, "No, I didn't like the sticky one." Sounds like Daisy. I know Daisy. I did not feed Daisy when I came home. I was too excited about counting the votes and realizing that we were like literally like a handful of votes difference between them that I did not feed her. So yes, poor girl is gonna have to. I made her wait a whole hour to get her dinner. Oh, Diane, you're gonna go teach a class. Have fun. And I'm gonna look up those Brittany needles because I need two, you guys. So I need a variety. Lynn, oh yes, she likes the prim one for bigger cables, but not for one or two stitches. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. See, I think it all just depends on what you're doing it with, right? Okay, that's good to know. Okay, Prim and Brittany, you guys. All right, we'll see. I may just do a little online looking tonight. I may see there's another yarn shop that is very close to me that I don't go to a lot, London Yarns, and they do usually have the best selection of needles. Um, so I may just go there and see what they have for cable needles. Maybe I just feel like this pillow project could just be a cable needle um, experiment. I can ex- I think I need all of them and I can just, see whatever I can find and then rotate through some of them and see a metal, a plastic, the is it a J one, the hook one, or the one that's straight with the dip in it? I don't know. Maybe this would be a good project to try them all out and see which one I like. But then, like Lynn says, maybe you would switch, or I would decide I'd like something depending on what the project and how many stitches, and if you're using like super bulky versus a fingering weight yarn. All that stuff comes into play, which then really just circles right back around to the fact that I probably need them all. So I have a good selection, or just so I can find them because all my other ones seem to be MIA right at the moment. All right, you guys, we are almost at 9 o'clock. So that's pretty much my for this long Easter weekend. I don't know. I'm going to get these socks done. So Easter Monday, I will be here with a finished pair of socks. If they're not finished, I'm just not going to show them and not talk to you about them. But the plan is definitely to get that done. Do a little bit of cabling, order some cable needles, or do some shopping. Um, Work on my summer top. I don't know. Just do all the things. I guess in the moment, I'll just see what I am feeling and get this purple garter stitch project started. Yeah, super fun. Oh, hey, Jerry. I have different kinds of cable needles. Do you have a favorite one? Does it depend on the project? I feel like this needs to be an Instagram story question. What is your favorite kind of cable needle? Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm interested about the prim ones. I'm willing to go buy one and with the knowing that there's a 50-50% chance that I won't like it. I really don't think there can be one as bad as the one with the notches in it or like the grooves. I don't think there's anything that will compare to that one. Depends on the yarn. Very true, right? If it's grippy or slippery, because then you probably don't want to use, if you're using a slippery yarn, you maybe don't want to use a metal cable needle. You want a wood one. Again, reason to have a lot of them at your disposal so you can just pick up whichever one's going to work better. If use one on one round, if you don't like it, switch it out, use something different, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I'm on a little bit of a cable needle adventure. We'll see. We'll come back next week and we'll see what kind of cable needles I have. And if I find the prim sticky one, I'll give you my thoughts on it and see if I group it in with the Knit Picks one that I didn't like or not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go knit. Maybe I'm gonna work on my. I'm gonna feed my cat first. Gonna feed because I don't think she's gonna let me knit until I feed her. So um, I'm gonna go feed Daisy. Then I'm gonna work on my sock. Then I think I'm just gonna cast this on because I've got 3 balls of this. So we'll see how much I get done over the weekend. All right. Thanks for voting, everybody. And I'm so glad this worked. I'm gonna have to do a little tech troubleshooting here to see why my laptop is acting up. That is never a good sign. So hopefully it's a quick Google fix and I can just click a button and it'll magically fix it all um, before Saturday when Cheryl and I podcast. So everybody have a great week. It's a short week if you get Good Friday off. If you celebrate Easter, enjoy spending time with family and hopefully the weather is good for everybody. Today was a beautiful spring day. Hopefully that just follows right through into the weekend and we have nice weather for the long weekend and get outside and just enjoy the weather, enjoy family, get lots of crafting and knitting time in. So thank you everybody for voting. This is going to be a fun knitting project this week and we will chat with you all on Monday. Have a great week everybody. See you Monday.